Good evening, boys and girls, and welcome to another brilliant episode of Film Banter. Tonight, we'll be sitting around the campfire talking about some horror films we've seen. That's right, horror! The horror of it all, coming to you now on Film Banter.
Louie. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking you back. We're taking you back a long time ago. And we're only going to take you back a week this time. It is myself, Daryl K. Smith, and my friend, Mr. Christopher McCall. Good to see you, sir.
We're back, folks. Another episode.
We are back.
129.
More exciting banter about film, about cinema. About
celluloid.
Of cinema.
I agree. 100%.
That's all we are. That's all we are. We're with the love of cinema.
Yes.
We've grown a little bit further apart from our love of cinema because of the show, perhaps. You know, it turns it into a little bit of work sometimes.
It turns it into work just because of the obligation of having to fill in a certain amount of movies per week. But I still enjoy walking into that theater.
I still enjoy the gratification of even the bad films we see. Yeah. You know, I mean, this week we had, I think, you know, overall, I think our films were fairly even to some extent this week. And there's always gratification, even though that we do find sometimes that we're doing something maybe that we don't really want to do. When we finally do it, it just turns out to be worthwhile, for me anyway.
Yeah, and this show, too, the thing I guess I like the most about it is that we're discovering films that we might not otherwise have discovered.
True.
As we troll, you know, the cinematic world for something to watch for the show, we're often finding little gems that otherwise we never would have, like, would we have ever stumbled along Their Finest, for example, or you know, any number of the other
Light of My Life.
Well,
that we would have seen because of Casey.
Well, that's true.
You know.
But other ones, you know, Before I Fall, or you know, there's a lot of little movies that we discovered, which I actually watched again last night.
Really?
Since I haven't watched it since we first reviewed it 2 years ago.
Oh, no kidding.
And I've been in the mood to watch it again, and I had it on the TV there while I was doing my work.
She's very good in that.
She's very good. Zoe
What's her
Deutch.
name again?
Zoe Deutch.
Ah, yes.
She is
very good indeed.
Leah Thompson's daughter.
Oh,
with a producer named Howard Deutch, or Deutsch, I think is how you say it. Deutsch.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so I love discovering little things like that.
As do I.
And sometimes going to the theater to see a film that I might have not really wanted to see, but we feel obligated to go. And then I love when it's a nice surprise.
Well, usually the films that we do go see at the theater, we probably would have seen anyway. Most of them are
some of them
a big
I wouldn't
commercial.
Have. Yeah, I mean a lot of them are.
True. I mean, I would have gone to see Hobson and Matt.
You mean Hobson and Shaw?
Hobson and Shaw.
Yeah, no, I definitely would have seen that. But this one was a movie that I might have been on the fence with. I wasn't sure. You know?
I was happy to go see this because I was very happy with the trailer. I thought the trailer
it was a good trailer. I agree,
and
I was more leaning towards seeing it than not.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a film that when I first saw the trailer said, "Yep, definitely gonna go see that." You know?
We go.
Because you never know what else is out, and you can't go see everything.
Very true indeed, and you know, there's plenty of things out. There was a lot of stuff that came out this past week. We had there was a religious film that came out.
Yeah, that was called Overcomer.
Right.
Yeah, that was another one of the Kenrick Brothers produced films.
Right. There's also a porn film of the same name that
called Overcomer.
Yeah,
spelled a little differently, I imagine.
No, not really.
Really?
Well,
I don't like
similar.
when they spell it with an O.
C-U. Yeah, I think it was a
C-U should be the way they spell that word, not
exactly.
C-O.
Well, that is how they spelled it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, of course.
No, but
it is what it is. But
yeah, there's
a lot of things out there. I mean, you know, the theaters are a lot of Indian films.
Yeah. There's a bunch. Every week we're getting at least one release, or two. Yeah.
Over in the Palisades, oh my gosh, the Palisades one, which is a 21.
It is.
There's at least 2 or 3 there right now. So,
yeah, and by me, in Willowbrook, they always have a bunch too.
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's growing. There's a big population of Indian people in our area.
I'm still surprised that they get that much of a, that they get that much of a clientele to warrant putting 3 of these films in 3 separate theaters.
Again, because there's a big population of Indians in the Northeast, especially in the New Jersey, New York area. I mean, I can tell you from experience, years ago when I used to work at an Olive Garden in northern New Jersey.
Of course.
I'm telling you, we had a huge client base that were Indian. They loved it.
Really?
Because Italian food, there's a lot of similarities in the style of the food than there is in Indian in terms of a lot of sauces, a lot of things that are shareable. A lot of vegetarian options, and they loved it. They did, yeah. And so there's a lot of area.
I was very fond of the shrimp karma. You ever have shrimp karma?
No, but I do love.
It's like a shrimp over rice with a curry sauce.
You know, I like curry.
Delicious.
It's delicious.
Oh, I love it so much.
I love the tandoori chicken that comes in a hot.
Tandoori come in a tandoori oven.
It comes in a hot skillet almost. Yeah.
Oven. They cooked in a specific oven called tandoori.
I agree. And in our area too, there's a big population of Brazilians. There's a lot in our area too.
I'm not surprised, but we don't have many Brazilian films.
No, but I'm just speaking for population. The reason it just made me think of it because we have an Indian population, a lot of Brazilians in our area.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're digressing.
We have a huge Korean
there's
population up by the George Washington
Fort
Bridge
Lee.
over here. I know.
Or as they say, Fort Lee.
Fort Lee, that's right.
You know what's interesting that they don't have the L sound.
Right, buddy.
They don't have the L sound in the language.
Well,
it's interesting.
no, like they say instead of Godzilla,
they say Gojira. Gojira.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
But anyway, we'll I guess segue.
We digress. We now shall start the
actual speaking
show
about
here.
film.
We're going to actually start talking about film now.
As you might have figured out, Ready or Not is going to be our first film of the night.
Ready or Not it is.
Which is a...
stars Margot Robbie's clone in life.
Yeah, Samara Weaving, Hugo Weaving's niece.
Daughter? Oh, I thought it was his...
No, his niece.
His daughter.
It's his niece. Yeah.
Okay.
We have Andy McDowell here.
Andy's in it.
We have
Who's this fellow?
That is Adam Brody.
What was he in? Was he in Game of Thrones at all?
No, but he's got a Game of Thrones look.
Yeah, he does.
No, he's a prominent actor.
And the
American
guy who
actor.
plays the father.
He's been in a ton of stuff. Yeah. His name is Henry something. It's a weird name. Henry Czerny.
A lot of TV. A lot of TV stuff.
Well, I remember him most notably. The first time I took note of him, we'll just start playing this. The first time I took note of him was in Clear and Present Danger with Harrison Ford, the Tom Clancy film. Course. And then he was also prominent in the first Mission Impossible. He was the villain in that.
Oh, interesting.
He's good. He's got a good presence.
Yes.
She's very good.
She looks like Margot Robbie.
She really does.
I mean, that's almost a,
I would say that Margot's a little more beautiful.
Absolutely.
But she's definitely
but
cool.
She's from that clone
She
world.
definitely has a similar archetype.
The face, the hair, the look. Andy McDowell still looking pretty good.
It was good to see her. I haven't seen her in a while.
I love this woman. I love Sex, Lies, and Videotape. She's been in a lot of things over the years. She was in
Groundhog Day, Green Card.
Absolutely.
Was a big one for her. That actually was probably arguably her big breakout film.
Well,
Gerard Depardieu. That was before that. You're right. Yeah, Sex Lies was first.
Steven Soderbergh.
That's
that
true.
was in the 80s.
That was 89, I think.
Yeah, it was 89. Right before.
At most, it was like 90, but I'm pretty sure it was 89.
It might have even been 91, actually.
Yeah, but I think you're right about 89. I think it's 89.
I think it's back in those days. But anyway, regardless, here's the cast. She was an entertaining...
she was. I don't know who that was. I forgot to look her up.
She was the grandmother.
You know who she looked like in this movie?
Glenn Close?
No, she reminded me of Robert Blake in Lost Highway.
Oh,
she looked just like him a little bit.
She
reminded me of him.
If only she had the black hair.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'm going just face.
Well, let me get right to it. What this?
Yeah, why don't you give the premise to those that might not know?
I will give the premise. The premise is simply this: it's about a young woman who marries into a family. We don't really know anything about the family except that they're filthy, filthy rich.
Well, they're a video game. They're a board game company.
Yeah, they are a board game company. Well, they
company.
were originally the original grandfather or great grandfather started a board game of which no names. They don't use any actual names of board games.
No, but they show them in the beginning.
They do show them at the beginning. But regardless, so what happens is she discovers then that she kind of has to go through a bit of a gauntlet of choosing what game she has to play via this black box that spits out cards. She puts her card in, and of course it spits out the game of hide and seek. Yeah. Hence the title, Ready or Not.
And again, this is a part of initiation that the family always does when somebody marries into the family.
Correct.
Because this happens on their wedding night. They get married on the premises of this mansion.
Yes.
And now she has to be part of this hide and seek game.
This ritual that everyone who marries into the family has to go through.
Yes.
And of course, when you choose the hide and seek card, there are other cards also. There's checkers, there's chess, there's hide the salami, whatever there might be. But when you choose the hide and seek, suddenly it's a death. It's a run for your life
like Manhunt.
scenario.
with a deadly consequences.
It is indeed. It's suddenly everyone is trying to kill you. And there's a reason for that, which we can't really give away.
Yeah, it's.
But
I didn't kind of see coming, so I thought that was kind of interesting.
I like that very much. I thought that really made the film kind of really come together as a full-fledged horror movie, which it really kind of pledges to be. Now, I will talk about this very briefly, and then you, of course,
you
have your scenario. But when you see the trailer for this film, it has her running around the house. Mm-hmm. You know, there's crossbows. You know, people are shooting people, and and they're trying to kill her. Everyone's trying to kill her.
They are.
That's the thing. And if she could make it through the night, which is not their desire, they sincerely want her to not make it.
Yeah, she has to make it to the sunrise, basically.
Yeah, but when I saw the trailer and when the game started, where now she's running around the house, I suddenly became a little disappointed. I just have to say, I just suddenly started thinking, oh my God, it's going to be, the trailer really is kind of giving it all away. Mm-hmm. And it's now just run for your life, and that's kind of where it is. But I think the movie takes us through a lot of little tributaries, a lot of little places that just happen. All the relationships of all the family members comes out very much so. This is Andrew, I believe.
That character's name,
his character is Andrew, and everybody just we have an opening scene where 30 years ago,
yes,
a previous entry into the family, it was Andy McDowell's husband, I believe, it was her husband who was murdered.
No, her husband is in the movie with her.
Oh, correct.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they tell us who it was.
I think it was the old woman's.
Because she's the aunt. It might have been her husband.
It was her husband who was murdered.
And they show her fiance in the film, and his brother as little boys witnessing that.
Right.
And that was the last time they had a hide and seek game happen.
Right.
Because all the other times when a card was picked at the initiation, it was other games. Because we see those people as part of the family here.
Absolutely.
They made it through the initiation.
They did.
And are now part of the hunters.
And that's the last time that the hide and seek card was
played.
Chosen.
Exactly.
So I like this film very much. Did you?
I enjoyed it too. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
It was pretty much kind of what I expected it to be.
Absolutely.
And it was fun. It was just a fun kind of a little interesting twist on things we've kind of seen before.
Kind of, yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I liked the grandness of the house. It was cool to look at. I always love movies that have these old houses where there's secret passageways.
Like Winchester.
Winchester.
Helen Mirren.
The comedy from the 80s, Clue, based on the board game.
Sure,
had a lot of that kind of stuff, which
Absolutely.
is a great comedy.
Yep.
I love the scenes here where she's getting the upper hand at times on some of these family members. There's a gruesome scene where she's in a barn.
I love the barn scene.
Yeah, and she falls into a
pit where all the old bodies have been thrown.
Yeah, and that was a cool scene.
And that was a cool scene.
Yeah, and I thought she did a good job. Her character
changes.
She changes. She kind of almost not gets into it, but she starts to really embrace that she's got to defend herself.
Yeah. Well,
she's taking no prisoners.
Otherwise, she's just in sheer panic mode.
Well, the first
hour of the
minutes,
film, first hour of the film, and then it's only about the last 20 minutes of the film that she literally starts to just, hey, this is what I have to do.
Got to do it. Yeah, and I like that.
Yeah, and but I really did enjoy it. It was very entertaining. It was. I just like the various. It almost felt like a British film to me.
Kind of did a little bit, yeah, and
a little bit of a just that British element of the photography and the.
I like the comedy.
Old house.
There was some good laughs.
Yeah, there were.
I like the chubby husband of one of the sisters.
Oh yeah, he was.
He reminded me of. He was good. His name was Christian Brun. Brun. He reminded me of the character Otho from Beetlejuice. Remember the chubby guy that was the interior decorator?
I do vaguely.
He's been dead for a long time.
I have not seen Beetlejuice probably since I saw it in the theater.
Oh, yes.
And then I saw it literally when it came out on VHS.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you should watch it again. It's really a classic.
I'd love to see it.
If they ever remake it, he could play Otho.
Sequel now. They're doing a sequel.
Well, they've been saying it for years, and I keep hearing it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off.
It's on now.
So I'm not sure. Kind of like your pants when you have people over here.
Yeah, right.
Well, actually, they're off most of the time.
Well, I wish you wouldn't have gone there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's quite all right.
But anyway, this is a very entertaining film. I would recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely moments of sheer hilarity and horror and drama also.
There is some drama.
A little dramatic.
There's some stakes.
Essence of so forth.
I like that shot.
Yeah, that is a good shot, and she's very cute in her Margot look there, and. I just enjoyed the film. I will watch this film again.
I would watch it again on video.
I will watch it again.
I'm hoping there'll be some fun extras and.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, the guys that did this movie, the only real big thing they had a hand in.
It's directed by two people.
Two guys, and they were part of this film. I never ended up getting to see it. It's a found footage anthology film called VHS, but there's slashes.
I did see it.
And they had their hand in one of the segments.
It was kind of trying to be a takeoff on
the Ring with the found tape, right?
The Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, it's all the found footage.
Kind of a thing, exactly.
I'm very happy that trend is not as popular as it was. I got so tired of found footage movies.
Yeah, but your Henry movie, that horrible Henry movie, where the movie that's all point of view camera, something Henry.
Point of view camera. Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, that just I wanted to puke about.
Well, that was crazy. I enjoyed that movie.
I know you did.
And I was expecting to feel sick because I agree with you. I don't like that kind of stuff.
It was too much.
But that one worked for me.
Yeah.
But it was video game basically. The video game movie is what it was.
Has nothing to do with this film.
No, we're digressing.
The Blair Witch and VHS, they don't have.
But regardless, these guys, this is their first feature, and so hopefully from here maybe they'll do a sequel. You never know.
You never know. They may very well, or they may just do another. They may just.
They'll probably be stuck in this genre for a little bit because it seems to be their.
It seems to be.
That's where they've been.
What's his name? Get Out.
Jordan Peele. He's in horror.
Peele. Yeah. He's kind of stuck in the horror.
He's filming Candyman right now.
I know.
The reboot.
I know.
I never saw those originals.
I saw the original. It was very good.
Yeah, I'd like to see the original.
It was great fun.
Yeah.
What's her name was in it?
Wasn't it Virginia Madsen?
It was Virginia Madsen. I was just trying to think. I know she was in Dune, and I was just trying to think of her, of course. Yeah, absolutely. And great fun. They were good. A lot of bee stuff. Bees going on and buzzing around and so forth. So it will be interesting to see that.
Yeah.
Big thumbs up for this.
Yeah, I agree. I would
not a big thumbs up, but I'm going to say
give it a 3-star.
Film.
It's a fun film.
All the way.
Yeah, it's fun. It doesn't pretend to be anything that it's not. It's very entertaining.
And the ending.
And it's got some good deaths.
I thought the ending is a kick. I really enjoyed.
There's a character that has their demise in a dumbwaiter, which I enjoyed.
Oh, that was
without saying who it was. I like that. So we move on. We're going to change gears, go in a total different direction with the comedy Good Boys,
right?
Which is in theaters now. It's kind of people are comparing it to Superbad because it's the same kind of a thing with tweens. So it's very simple. It's about sixth graders that skip school because they have to. They want to retrieve something that was stolen from them, which is a drone, which was this kid's father's.
Well, it's all about a party that's happening
that's my next
night.
thing. They want to also learn how to kiss because they're going to a kissing party.
It's a spin the bottle kissing party.
Yeah.
So we have our three characters. We have...
this guy's name is Thor.
Oh,
that was funny.
Yeah, Thor all over the bedroom. I thought it was because of
his name is Thor. Yeah,
I know, right? And this guy,
this is the lead, Jacob Tremblay.
Yeah, he definitely is that Stranger Things kind of.
Well, he was in Room.
That was him from.
He was in Book of Henry.
There you go.
And I think he was also in that movie Wonder. With Julia Roberts, where he played the boy that's disfigured. He's a good little actor.
No,
this kid is really funny too.
Well, he gets all the best lines.
I like him.
There's no question.
Yeah, and I want to say his name. His name is Keith L. Williams.
I'm telling you, he was
a little cameo of Will Forte.
Will Forte
as the main character's father,
of course.
So this is it's a movie. It's one of those movies, all in one night kind of a film.
Yeah, it's a coming of age kind of a Stand By Me, if you will.
With
Stranger
vulgarity.
Things, a lot of vulgarity.
Yeah.
A surprising amount, actually. I thought.
Well, I wasn't surprised because it was produced by the team of Seth Rogen and I believe Goldberg is Adam Goldberg, which they also produced Sausage Party, Neighbors, and Superbad.
Okay. But it is kind of trending this way. That
was fun. Stephen Merchant.
I love Stephen Merchant.
He's great.
I'm so glad anytime he's in a film.
And he's worked with this director before.
A pedophile kind of thing going on. But
and it's funny, this film was a feature directorial debut by a guy who wrote the film, Gene Stupinski, he wrote Bad Teacher, Year One.
Interesting.
And he created the.
Year One was a hunk of.
I didn't bother with that one,
but
he's done some other TV.
I did enjoy.
But
Bad
I thought
Teacher,
this was.
I thought Bad Teacher was great fun.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that. But I enjoyed this. This was fun.
I thought it was hilarious.
It was very entertaining.
I really found it to be very funny.
Yeah.
And you know, there's always that naivete going on where they don't understand that a swing is actually a sex toy.
Anal beads. Oh, he's a necklace.
I know.
Why does it smell like shit?
I know. And there was a great scene with the. They have a CPR doll, which is actually a real doll, which is a sex doll.
And they went for a joke that I was hoping they would, where they made a joke about the mouth of it.
I know.
When they were kissing it.
Wait a minute. There's a hair here. But,
see, I thought it was going to go one step further and something was going to be dripping out.
Oh no,
but they didn't go that far.
No, they couldn't do that. Not with this. Not with the kids.
Not with the kids.
I have to agree.
But it was entertaining. There's a couple.
Was.
They have like these girls they keep running into because they stole these girls. Molly, which is a drug, out of the purse of one of them. So the girls stole the drone that they were using for another purpose. Right. So they're trying to get a new drone.
Well, they were trying to watch the girl and her boyfriend
to learn how to kiss. That's right.
Right. They wanted to watch her, but then the guy goes away. And she ends up with her girlfriend, and they think, oh, maybe the girls will kiss, but then it crashes. But the whole essence here, of course, is that this is his father, Will Forte's
and he uses it for work,
which he uses for business. We don't know what he uses it for, and
He's probably a video guy or something.
It's just a MacGuffin.
Yeah. It is the MacGuffin, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
They always need one of those.
But of course, we have to get it back, and so. But the chemistry between the three guys, phenomenal.
It was good.
Phenomenal.
It was a little formulaic. You always have to have the formula in there, but other than that, it was fun.
In what way? Well, I mean, the formula.
Well, there's the inevitable. It's not really a spoiler. There's always the fight. Oh, our friendship. We're going separate ways. Oh, okay. And then there's always the reconnection.
Yeah. And
they always
have
to
do that.
They're
the beanbag guys.
Yeah, we're the beanbag boys.
We're the beanbag boys.
There's the real doll.
There's the real doll right here.
But there's some funny gags. One of the better scenes is when Stephen Merchant comes to them.
Oh, correct.
To try to buy something from them, and they're trying to make some money to get this new drone.
Yeah. And then also there's a great scene when they have to go to. They've lost the drugs. They've given it away to a police officer at one point. So they have to go to the drug dealer's house.
Oh, that was funny.
It was a great scene.
They went to the frat house,
Yeah, and they kind of become thugs, and it's really a
there's a bunch of good
movie.
scenes.
I did not expect it to be as good as I.
Neither did I, because when I saw the trailer, I'm just like, I don't know, just vulgar young kids, big deal, been there, done that. But it got to me, and I enjoyed it.
It did because it was funny. Funny is funny.
I had a bunch of laughs.
Absolutely. I cracked up many times watching this film. It was really quite
enjoyable. It was better than I expected it to be.
Absolutely, 100%.
I would recommend it.
I would indeed.
Will I say run out to the theater? You don't necessarily have to.
Not necessarily.
You can enjoy it at home just as much.
Small screen film.
It's a small film.
Nothing to say.
But it's entertaining.
But it's comedy and it's very, very funny.
And all three of them will be in other things, I'm sure.
Funny. I mean, he's the least funny of the three.
No. He's almost like the straight part. His character can sing, and he's trying to be a singer, and
we discover why
wants to be in a play.
Towards the end, we discover that he's changing as a person. But I mean, these two were hilarious. Specifically, our black guy here. He just stole the show.
He was great
all the time. He just always came out with the right. The writing was superb here. Yeah. I have to say, it is strong, crude humor.
It's good,
and yet at the same time, and I like the naivete of that they don't quite understand. And they're constantly saying, "Oh, well, what's that? Oh, well, it's when what's that used for? Oh, it's when a girl."
They make up their own ideas.
Yeah, they make up their own ideas, and it was funny. It was very.
No, it was very entertaining, and it's an easy watch. Just like Ready or Not, they're both short films,
and it's a kind of movie that it's just a breeze. It'll come
hour and 45 minutes easy. Both of them, they're not long.
It's only an hour and no, you're incorrect, sir. This film was an hour and 29 minutes.
You're probably right.
And it was only an hour and 24 minutes with no credits.
Oh, true.
So
that makes sense.
It was fairly short.
I think Ready or Not was a little longer, but they're still shorter films, which is nice.
Ready or Not was about 134 minutes.
We're always complaining, every movie's 2.5 hours. So it's nice to get movies that are back to where we used to be. Hour 30, hour 40. I like that.
We will be doing The Hustle soon, and The Hustle's only an hour and
that's an easy watch.
Hour and 30 minutes all the way.
Yeah. Most comedies are shorter.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a 2.5 hour comedy. I can't even think of one. Can you?
Well, yeah, there are some
2.5 hour
that
comedy?
are well, not 2.5.
That's what I'm saying. I remember that.
There are some
maybe 2
comedies
hours
that are usually a 2 hour film.
But I don't remember one that was longer than that.
True. No,
you'll never see
not.
a 3 hour comedy. It's not going to happen.
Well, that movie with Under the Silver Lake, that was a semi-comedy.
That wasn't really.
That was more of a fantasy.
Noir. Yeah, I wouldn't characterize that.
Okay.
You know that was Quentin Tarantino's favorite movie of last year?
Really?
Yeah, or of this year, whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he loved that film.
Interesting.
But I guess we can move on. We've pretty much.
I guess we can.
This is enjoyable. I recommend Good
absolutely
Boys.
true.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So now we're going to delve into some horror territory, as promised.
Okay.
You're
going to have to review Scary Stories.
Yeah, I did see Scary Stories. You didn't get a chance to see it.
Don't give too much away.
I'm not going to. So Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Produced by Guillermo del Toro. He also is one of the co-writers amongst, I think, 4 writers. Say that a little
slower. Guillermo
del Toro.
Shape of Water, Pan's
Labyrinth. You know him, Hellboy.
He's just an amazing visual and emotional director.
I agree. He's good. His films are usually, they're horror, but there's depth to them.
Well, Pan's Labyrinth, I think, is
brilliant. That's his masterpiece.
That is his masterpiece, and it's really the Wizard of Oz gone totally wrong down the rabbit hole. It's just a frightening piece of work.
But he didn't direct this. He just was one of the producers as well as the co-writer.
Okay.
This was directed by Andre Overdahl, who did The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh.
And he also did Troll Hunter, which I never got a chance to see.
That film I don't know, but I did love The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yeah, me too. We both enjoyed that.
We reviewed that. Hirsch and Brian Cox.
Yeah, we reviewed that in this show very positively.
I've seen that like 2-3 times.
It's a very good movie.
It's very
watchable
and very
The Autopsy of Jane Doe. It's on all the streaming platforms.
And also, and we saw that, and we kind of realized at the same time that The Possession of Hannah Grace kind of was in the same mold.
That was good too.
Those are another.
That was a good one too. Possession of Hannah Grace. We covered that earlier this year.
I was in Best Buy today, and the price when that film originally came out on Blu-ray was like $27.99 just for the Blu-ray.
Yeah,
it wasn't never made into Well, now it finally went from 27 down to 19. Now it's at 14.99.
I like that.
I almost wanted to buy it because I really do like that film.
Here's
Guillermo and
the director Andre.
Ewan McGregor's clone,
a little bit,
little brother here.
But I'll get to the quick review. So, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is based on a series of books that are pretty well known and loved. I've never read them, but they're basically just, as you can think, scary stories. But in this film, this film though, it's a straightforward narrative. It's not an anthology film. It basically just tells.
Is this a spider under her?
No, it's not a spider.
Oh, it's
something else.
Okay.
So it's basically about this book that is, for lack of a better term, haunted, and the people that.
Oh, the book itself is.
Yeah, haunted. The people that read it.
Become.
Well, the book starts reading you.
Oh, I see.
And the stories reflect your deepest fears.
Okay.
So that's the premise. And so it's about this book that was found, if I remember correctly, it was in an abandoned home. And this girl finds, she's our main protagonist. And people around her start to get picked off by different creatures and things that happen from these books. So that's what it is.
Okay.
And so in a way,
that the girl?
That's her, yeah. And this is
totally different there.
I know. Maybe Sylvie. Maybe that was the other girl.
I think that's another girl.
Oh, no, that's her again. Yeah, it's different angles, I think. Because this guy helps you out throughout the whole film.
Okay.
So it's just about these horrific little scenarios. This is one of the things we see as a creature.
Now let me clarify one thing for our beloved audience here. It does say stories to tell in the dark, but it is only one story.
I said it's not. I said it's a straightforward narrative and it's not an anthology film.
All right, I'm sorry I didn't hear you say.
It's okay.
Okay.
So it just is this one thing after another, one creepy little creature.
But are there various other characters that come into the film?
Well, there's a circle of teenagers in this group.
Okay.
And their fears are realized through this book. And these creatures start coming after them. This guy has this ugly fat beast come after him. And
you should not have used that word.
Why?
Well, because that's not a proper word that is acceptable in today's
please, it's
vernacular.
A fat beast.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Just say that
it's a robust beast.
She's weight challenged.
She's horrible.
She's weight challenged.
But so that's the makeup is really cool. There's some really good scenes. There's a couple really good deaths without getting into what they were.
Oh, okay. Well, every horror film has.
You gotta have a couple good deaths. And this one is real memorable. All I'm gonna say is it happens. I'm not going to tell you where it happens. It's a good scene.
Okay.
But I enjoyed this. I'd say it's a 3-star film.
Okay.
You don't have to run out to see it in the theater, but check it out at home.
I wanted to. I really wanted to.
You'd enjoy it in the theater. You'd enjoy it at home.
I probably would.
Same feeling.
Yeah.
But I liked it. It was well acted. I think it was well done, well directed. I think it was tense at times. There's a couple laughs because of some things get so extreme.
Well, that's what we have to have in
You gotta
all
have
horror
that, yeah.
films. You need that little, even in The Exorcist.
These are the book covers here.
Even in The Exorcist,
There's a couple
we
laughs.
had moments of,
levity.
you got to let it go. You've got to bring it back down to earth. Otherwise, if you just try and maintain that full-fledged onslaught of horror throughout the entire film, which many films do,
it's kind of relentless.
It's almost like watching John Oliver. As much as I love the show,
I know what you're
he's
saying.
completely
It's an
on
onslaught.
the same. He's so intense that you just wish he would just quiet down.
Well, that's why
Lately,
he has the jokes.
Though.
He peppers in the jokes.
Well, no, the whole thing is a joke.
I know.
Generally, there's a joke every other line. He's doing a joke.
I wouldn't say that much, but very often.
He'll do a setup of a paragraph or two, and then he gives a joke.
To me, I laughed my ass off. Just a quick segue to John Oliver. This week, not every episode, but every few weeks, he does a little jab at AT&T.
Right.
The one he did this week, I was cracking up. When he does, business dad, baby, I'm high maintenance. Wah, wah. It's so funny.
I know.
It's
and
great.
Yet still you keep your AT&T.
Because I enjoy my experience, but I can still laugh
I
at
think
them.
now you do it, though. I don't think it really has anything to do with you're just thinking logically anymore. I think it's now become you're defending the throne of AT&T.
No, it's not that at all. And it's not even out of me being loyal to them. I just like having AT&T, and I don't really see a reason to leave. I'm happy with it.
As I said to you at dinner, though, it's like living in a trailer park. You don't know what it's like living in a mansion. Going to
I don't want to go through the trouble
I wouldn't
of changing
go to Verizon,
companies.
but it's not a big deal. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing.
I don't feel like dealing with it.
It is.
I have
was in
other
Sprint.
things that are
I
more
didn't like
important.
Sprint. I didn't like the customer service with Sprint, and here we are getting totally off track here.
But see, I have had nothing.
Telephone banter right down.
I've had nothing but positive experiences with AT&T customer service. People that I know have had horror stories of Verizon's customer service for years.
Well, the problem with John Oliver with AT&T had nothing to do with the customer service. He just talked about that your phone doesn't work.
Yeah, he makes fun of their service.
Yeah, he makes fun of these.
And that's an ongoing joke with AT&T. Yeah, even though they technically do have the best coverage in the country.
No, Verizon does.
Well, in their commercials, AT&T says we have the best coverage.
Well, they don't. Verizon has the best coverage.
Well, they can
of
both say
anybody.
it. They can both
Verizon
say it.
is way up there.
Well, you don't even have Verizon. So
I don't have Verizon, but everybody I know that has Verizon has great things to say about them.
Everybody
but
I know hates them.
They hate them because of their billing system.
It's awful.
You pay for data over there, so that's a drag. When you're paying for data, that's one thing I love about T-Mobile.
But you're just as loyal to T-Mobile as I am. You've been carrying the T-Mobile flag for 5-6 years now.
No, 11 years.
I've
been with
so
T-Mobile
how is that
11
different from me
years.
being with AT&T?
But
I've been with AT&T 20 years. How is that any different? It's the same thing.
It's not really the same thing
It
because
is.
on the ladder of opinion, it's like T-Mobile's way up there with customer service, with
who though?
phone
Who are you polling?
service.
Who are you polling?
No. They're I believe number one with service is Verizon. They are number one, and T-Mobile is way up there also. And they have a better. They're terrific. I've never paid more money in T-Mobile. We're totally off track.
Anyway.
But anyway,
Let's
you
go
like
back to
this film.
I enjoy this. I think you'll like it. I think people
I'm
will
sure
check it
I
out.
will.
And I'm pretty sure, I think it's doing well enough that I think this is going to end up being one of those franchises because you have so much material to pull from all the books.
Oh, right.
We'll probably get more because the book, much like the Hellraiser box, can always fall into somebody else's hands.
I see.
And the problem begins again.
Yeah. And of course, at the beginning we saw book 1, book 2, book 3.
There's several books. I think there's more than that.
Yeah. So
I don't know much about the
that-
books, but I guarantee we're going to get more of these movies.
We may just get a TV series out of this. You never know.
It could lend itself to that.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty of this kind of thing.
The booty?
The beauty.
The booty.
Not the booty.
It's
The beauty. The beauty of the booty.
The beauty of the booty.
But we'll move on. Now
we
we're
go.
going to segue to another horror film.
We will.
Which is not in theaters. It's on streaming platforms.
No.
Annabelle. No, Annabelle.
No, Annabelle was in theaters.
No, I'm saying now it's not. It was, but now it's not.
It was in theaters.
Yeah, no, now we're going into streaming stuff.
In fact, it only left theaters approximately 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's now it's actually only available on one platform.
Okay.
Only on Google Play to watch.
Interesting.
Okay. But so why don't you go? I did not see this. This is his review.
Not. Okay, it is the continuing episodic franchise, if you will, of The Conjuring.
Yeah.
It stars Patrick Wilson and
This
Vera
is now
Farmiga.
the 5th or 6th film in that world, right?
This is
2 Conjurings,
well, it's kind
2
of,
Annabelles, and a nun. That's 5.
2 Conjurings, correct. No, is it 2 Conjurings? Okay, we have 2 Conjurings. We have The Nun, which is kind of not even in the same world.
Yeah, but it is, though. It's a prequel.
It is. It's a prequel to The Nun that we see in The Conjuring 2. But this, it does star Vera and Patrick. They are back in the film.
And Martin Landau wannabe.
Albeit very briefly they're in the film. They hire these girls. Now, they live in this house. They've just gone and retrieved the Annabelle. If you saw
From the
Annabelle, there was Annabelle Creation.
There's Annabelle Creation, and
Yes.
then this is the 3rd one.
This is the 3rd.
So this is the 6th movie in the series of Conjuring.
They are in the first Annabelle film. They're not in. Are they in the second? The second takes place at a girls' orphanage. The second Annabelle.
Wasn't the second Annabelle a prequel? Maybe? No,
I
I
think
don't remember.
It was.
Because there's so many
It may have
prequels
been.
and this and that.
It's very difficult to keep track. Is the doll scary looking? Yeah, kind of. It looks very similar to the James.
She's great though, Hannah McKenna Grace.
She's dynamite.
You remember her from Gifted with
Was
Chris
she?
Evans.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it looks very similar to the James Wan film. It was a rip-off of what's it called? It was a rip-off of the Anthony Hopkins Magic film with a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah, I know what you're
it's
saying.
It's the James Wan film, and it kind of basically has that howdy doody face.
Yeah.
But it was a James Wan film, and it starred the guy from the werewolf show on HBO with Anna Paquin.
You're talking about True Blood, Alexander Skarsgård?
No. There was another guy on the show, and he was in this this offset film that was there were all these dolls, and anyway, it looks exactly. It becomes a ventriloquist dummy. You can basically look it up.
So you're saying a film not connected to the Conjuring universe that James Wan did?
James Wan did very soon after, I believe, after he did the Saw films.
Okay.
It was in that kind of.
I'm trying to think what it was. I'll look it up though. Why don't you continue here?
It's called something Silence. Silent. Check it out.
I'm pulling it up now.
Well, bring up True Blood and then bring
just
up
pulling up
James Wan.
James
There
Wan.
you go. There you go. Well, I don't know if he directed it. I'm not
But
sure.
if he's a producer, it's...
He was a producer on there. Okay, so this film is basically set. They brought the Annabelle doll back home to the house.
Dead Silence.
Dead Silence.
2007. He
There you
directed
go.
that.
Oh, did he?
He did.
I love
remember
that
when
film.
that came out.
That's a scary little movie, by the way. It really is. Anytime there's a doll in any film.
Stars Ryan Quatnin.
I remember
Donnie Wahlberg.
My wife, for example, anytime there was a doll in a movie, nope, not watching that, no way, and couldn't do it. But this is interesting. We have a babysitter, and her friends come over to kind of share in the moment with her. And the Annabelle doll has been brought home. They have a museum there in their home.
Yes.
Patrick and Vera.
Because I remember in the second Conjuring film, there's a glass showcase
Correct.
with the doll in there.
Well, there is the doll in there, and that's where kind of the nun shows up.
Yeah,
they
the
have
nun
an
shows up.
office, and
then from that, they made the nun.
and that nun was frightening.
She was.
Of course, in the
Very
nun
horrifying.
film, she's 20 times every 3 minutes. I mean, they literally blew it with that film.
Yeah, of course.
A complete and total joke. But this film is really quite good. We have a young girl here whose father just died. Here she is.
Yes.
So she's kind of interested in pursuing going into this museum, trying to conjure spirits of her own. This is kind of our Sigourney Weaver character. She's brave through no matter what happens in the house. She just has balls of steel, and she just plows right on through, and nothing seems to really get to her. But it's regardless. It's basically about this young girl whose father has just died. She's interested in trying to get to him. She feels she was responsible for the death of her mother and father, and so she's trying to she's just trying to relate somehow to them through this doll that has now become. She lets the doll loose in the house, so now everything starts to go very, very afoul. And there's some scary moments in this film, no question about it, and that's the bottom line. I didn't find this. I didn't find the doll.
It's creepy, but dolls are never really scary.
You know, well, in Dead Silence, they were actually. Some of the dolls really were scary, but I just love Vera Farmiga.
Well, I like
Patrick.
that they show up in all these movies.
Well, they're just lending their faces to the familiarity of the franchise and to let us know that this is going to be another film in that series.
That's cool.
And it's very well done. I really did enjoy it.
Was this better than the last Annabelle, you thought?
The last Annabelle was a 2.5 hour. I keep trying to think of the guy who was the kind of the maintenance man. He was kind of the orphanage main man. He was a famous actor who did it, but I didn't really care for the second one all that much, even though it was it had its moments, but it was kind of more scary what the girls were kind of going through on a personal basis.
Oh, it was Anthony Napolia.
That's it. Yeah. Right, of course. But I always liked him. He used to be on the Frasier show years ago.
Yeah, he played an Australian in that show.
I believe he did. He was.
He was the one that ends up marrying, I think, Jane.
Jane, yes.
The caretaker, the father and housekeeper. Yeah,
absolutely.
But all right, so would you recommend this?
I would recommend it if you're into the franchise. Even if you're not, it really doesn't matter. It's not a necessity. I mean, I know for you, it's, I didn't see the first, I didn't see the second.
Well, I saw Conjuring 2, I still haven't seen the first one.
Oh.
I thought the second one was great.
Well, that's got Lily Taylor's in it. And
I'm going to check it out.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, I can watch it.
It's good. And also, is it Ron Silverstone or Rob Silverstone?
Ron Livingston.
Ron Livingston,
yes.
Well, he was the father in that.
Yes, I want to see that one. I like them.
Yeah.
That creature looked horrifying. What was that?
Well, I'll tell you something. In that room, Annabelle kind of sets life into all the creatures that are kind of living spiritually in this particular museum of horror, if you will. So she kind of unleashes, by unleashing Annabelle unleashes all the spirits and blah, 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 bullshit. We just go on and on in this little horrific world. And it goes through its merits. It goes through its. Here's this guy. Here's the boyfriend of the blonde.
Course, yeah.
The wannabe boyfriend of the blonde. It's standard stuff at the same time. But there were some real good scares in this film. I enjoyed it.
Cool. I'm glad
I do recommend it. Absolute.
Cool.
I do.
If you want to watch
it, in the Conjuring
it
world,
is on Google Play.
Yeah, it is. And if you're
$15, by the way.
Oh, is it?
That's what it costs.
To rent this?
Well, because it's still kind of in between being officially on video. It's
okay.
Now it's got its little window.
Oh, okay. Well, I was lucky enough to still see it in the theater.
Why no? You caught it just before it came.
I caught it just before it left. So.
Hey, look, it's Danny Trejo.
I know. Well, this kind of looks like the Babadook guy almost.
A little bit, yeah.
Just put a hat on him.
So move
Which
on.
they are doing the Babadook
I know they are.
too.
That's pretty cool. I can't wait. Yeah, that was great.
You did like the Babadook.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was.
We've talked about it many times.
I know. I loved it.
All right, we're gonna move on now to our final little film of the night.
I hope you enjoyed our conversation on horror. We really enjoyed discussing these films, and we hope you enjoyed them too. Until next time, mortals, we will return with more horror.
So this is called Light of My Life.
So it is.
It is written and directed and starring
Mr. Casey Affleck. Yeah.
This is a post-apocalyptic film.
Yep.
This is a film that is basically him, and we're led to believe it's his son, but it's actually his daughter.
No, it's his daughter.
But he makes the daughter have a short haircut.
Well,
because society, because a virus has
come and taken out all the women.
It's kind of like Children of Men in a way, in that
exactly.
way. And so
women are a rarity and are needed to
procreate.
survive.
So he knows that if anybody finds out that he's got a daughter,
he'll be killed and she'll be taken off
as a sex slave or something.
As a sex
pretty horrifying proposition.
It is a horrifying proposition.
So it's him and her wandering.
By the way, in China, the young girls over there go through that on a daily basis. So I'm terribly sorry about those young women there.
But yeah, so it's the two of them. They're living in the forest. I mean, I'll be honest. The beginning of the film, it took me a while to get into it because the first scene of the film is just them in a tent and he's telling a bedtime story.
I know.
It's about, if I remember correctly, a 12-minute scene.
It's easily 10 minutes.
It's long. Why I clocked it, I remember at least 12.
Yeah.
It is long.
And we have Elizabeth Moss
as his wife. We see in flashbacks.
Who has passed away.
Yes, because the plague happened right after the baby was born, so the baby doesn't have a memory of the mother.
And the baby, for some odd reason, is not affected by the plague. So she does grow up and become a young girl.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe it dissipated. I don't know why.
Possibly, we don't know.
We don't know.
But
So the whole film is them just going from one scenario to another, one location to another. At one point, they take residency.
Remind you a little of The Road with Viggo
big time.
Mortensen.
That was a big reminder. Although I'd say that
I didn't even see The Road.
Oh, you got to see it. It's
I
good.
will see it.
That's a much bleaker film.
Yeah.
I think it's a stronger film.
Really?
As a film itself.
Okay.
But it's bleak.
I will have
But Viggo's awesome in that.
Well, I love Viggo.
He's great. Check it out.
Yeah.
But this is well done too. I thought Casey did a beautiful job shooting this film.
Yeah, I agree.
He wrote it, so it's obviously a very personal story. I like a lot of the scenes where they're in this house. They kind of just take over. It's an abandoned house, and the girl just knows, for the most part, living in tents. And remembers finally the one other time they lived in a house. It was nice for her to be in this house. And then encounter other people that are nice to them, some that are not nice to them. But here he is directing right here.
He's got her very well trained as far as the red alert syndrome.
Yes.
Red alert means
they got a bug out bag ready to go.
Somebody's coming for us, and we have to get out of this place right now.
Yeah.
And
they have contingency
he's
plans.
passing her off as his son.
Yes.
And she really looks like a little girl. There's no question about it. But it kind of could pass either way. I do like the fact somebody mentions they go to his grandparents' house later on in the film.
Yeah.
And one of the three older men says, it is the coming of Jesus. So there is kind of a Jesus. I don't know. You could get into a little symbolism here.
She looks like a young Mary Kay Place. I know that's obscure.
No. That's a fair analysis. Maybe even a Renee Zellweger, or you got those little. You know who she looks like even more? A young Jennifer Lawrence.
I could see that.
Yeah, definitely so.
I do like that scene though, that sequence when they're at his grandparents' home. I like that. He meets some people that have basically say, "Hey, we've been living here for 3 years now."
Right.
Because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I like that. That's kind of almost at the end of the film.
Mm-hmm. No,
but,
it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's towards the last
35
20
minutes,
minutes,
or so,
half hour. True.
But I thought Casey was good. I thought he did a good job.
This film is almost a little too intimate and too
very
limiting.
intimate. Yeah.
It's almost a little too limiting for its own good in a way. I felt that it kind of lent to it a bit of a claustrophobic feeling at times.
Especially when they were in a tent.
Not that well, of course, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the filmmaking style in its own. We're just following them around, very tight knit, camera wise, and they're running constantly. Camera's always right on them. It's obviously a very personal relationship between Dad and he loves her so much more than the stars in the sky. And then I like the one moment where he says, I love you to the sun and back. And she says, well, I love you to the top of that tree and back. And he's like, really? That's it? That's all I get? The top of the tree? But here they are in a house that they find has running water. There's dust caked everywhere. They actually find the members of the house in a horrific way out in a garage type of scenario. But, it kind of, I like the way it builds. It built very nicely. It really didn't have a beginning or an end, so to speak. It just kind of lays itself out there.
Yeah, it was just like, here's a moment in time. Well, there's no big plot.
It just laid itself out there in a splice of time, in this girl's life, and him defending.
It's a great shot with those big trees.
I know, it was.
Yeah.
It's
they
really,
probably shot this in like Vancouver or something, somewhere in Canada.
Yeah, Washington.
Or Washington State.
Probably so.
But I believe the film, I want to say I felt like it was maybe upstate New York at some point, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Could be.
Well, because we do have snow, so it's got to be somewhere on the East Coast.
We do. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Midwest too.
Maybe the West Coast they have snow. No, I guess they don't.
Maybe really up
Seattle
north.
Is pretty. It could even be a Vancouver. That would make sense. I thought Casey was excellent, though.
He did a good job.
He pretty much plays the same character in almost all his films. He's a very personal, very soft-speaking, very gentle, very tender guy. But when push comes to shove, whammo, he'll come through with the goods.
He poked a bee's nest,
to defend his daughter in this scenario.
I thought this was a very good scene for him. It was a strong scene.
This scene here, the end,
when the house, when he's talking to that one guy.
Oh,
yeah, okay. I like that scene. I remember that scene very well.
Doesn't even look like Casey right there. It kind of went into another worldly actor there. But regardless, this is a potent scene.
Yeah, it was good.
It's almost a bit of a spoiler that you put that scene there. But regardless, it's not important. I enjoyed the film. I liked very much about it. I liked hiding in the attic.
Me too.
and constantly having to run out of a window, and he's got to drop her from anything in his power. And
I like how he builds that like secret exit with the dresser. That was kind of cool.
Oh,
when they were in that house, it's a cool scene there.
Right.
He's planning their escape ahead of time.
Yeah, absolutely, and they always have to.
It's got to be a very tense way to live, where you're always waiting for some horrible thing to happen. And that's why whenever people talk about, my friends and I will talk about, oh, post-apocalyptic movies are great, or I want to see how if we ever had a nuclear explosion and how long could I live. I'm sorry, I don't want to live in this kind of environment. The road. I don't want to survive the blast. I don't want to be scrounging, killing squirrels.
Well, this wasn't a blast in this.
No, but I'm saying post-apocalyptic in general.
Yeah.
Plague. I don't want to be one of the survivors. If I can't have my normal,
it depends on what it is entailed to survive.
If I can't just go to the movies, go have lunch with you, I don't want to live.
If you have to walk around and an appendage of yours that's vital to you is rotting off you, then yes.
Yeah, I don't want to do any of that shit.
But if you could just live and survive in, maybe you had to survive without women, maybe you had to survive without water, maybe you had to survive without something.
Water you can't survive without.
Well, true, but you could survive in eating foods with water in them.
You'd be eating a lot of coconut and
no,
whatever
vegetables
else.
In general.
Well, I guess that's true.
All vegetables have water to some extent, but that's not my point. My point is about this film. I think it's a little too intimate, almost for its own good. Watchability I don't think is very high on this because it's so long. It's an hour and 59 minutes, and
at times it feels it.
Oh,
especially
at times.
See, to me, the big hurdle for anybody to watch this film is that first 15 minutes.
For me,
that's the hurdle.
The first 45 minutes to an hour was the hurdle for me. Because it moves so slow, we're just setting up a relationship between him that we kind of get right away anyway.
Yeah.
It's not really necessary to go into this whole 12-minute storytelling speech. And there's also another speech later on when he's trying to tell her about sex, and you just know she already knows.
At the dinner table.
Yeah,
I know.
She knows she already knows.
That's one of those scenes where it's always awkward for the parent.
True.
Yeah, but I thought they both handled the scene as actors very well. I thought he sold that awkwardness very well.
Absolutely,
in that scene.
100%.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying,
it was long. You're right.
This film, and you could tell that it's a director's. This is a director's film because the director will often keep in things that look at Quentin Tarantino, your buddy idol there.
Yeah.
He just keeps in so much stuff because there's an ego thing going on, and not necessarily in a negative way. It's just that, hey, I believe in this scene. As a director, I made this scene. I like this scene leading up to the next scene, or the scene previous to it leading up to that scene that maybe other people won't like, but I will keep in there. And I think he's a little bit guilty on this film because I don't think it needed to be 2 hours long. Watchability for me, I'll never watch this film. I don't believe I'll ever want to see it again. It's just too long and too...
I don't know if I'd sit through the entire film again.
Yeah.
But there are scenes that I liked enough that I might see again. I would watch.
What are you gonna pick and choose? I mean, you'll buy the Blu-ray and fast forward to the scenes you like.
Maybe, or if I catch it if it's on Netflix in a year.
Well, the last 40 minutes.
Maybe I'll watch that because I really enjoyed the sequence where they're in that house that they find, and I enjoyed the ending at the grandfather's house. I really liked that one actor. I believe his name is Tom Bauer, who played the nice guy.
The really good guy.
I liked him.
Yeah.
And what I've always remembered him from was Die Hard 2. He was the maintenance guy that becomes friends with Bruce Willis at the airport.
Did you know that right away when you saw him?
Right away. I've always remembered him that because he made such a memorable character there.
Okay.
I've always remembered him.
Oh, wow.
But I haven't seen him in as many things as I would like. He's very good in this. I think this is probably his biggest role that I've seen since then.
No, he was wonderful.
He's very good.
He's an older guy.
Yeah, he's older. Yeah,
there's a gentleness.
I couldn't really
to
find
him.
a good picture of him. Maybe there's one in here, but...
And just to get into something very briefly here, but when he first walks into them, or when they're upstairs, right? He and his daughter are upstairs. They've met the three men who are living in his grandparents' house, and they're religious folk.
Yeah.
And he walks downstairs at one point, and he's listening in, and they're talking about sacrifice. They're talking about, we must sacrifice to the Lord. And I thought for sure that they were talking about them.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit of a demonic kind of midsummer kind of thing coming up where he should kind of be afraid. But as it turned out, not even.
It might have just been deliberate misdirectors.
It was
misdirection.
It was. Well, it was just trying to flavor you with that. Hey, there could be an impending doom coming here. The film ends nicely in a kind of a
hopeful way,
kind of a poetic way, if you will. The mother had used a line specifically.
Yeah, that's cool. Yes,
and that
was
kind
nice.
Of is the finale, but. There could easily be a sequel to this film, which I do not believe there will be.
I doubt they're going to make it.
No, they're not going to.
Because this movie probably, I don't know what it cost to make, but, it's probably just going to break even at the end of the day,
I don't know if it cost that much to make this film. I think you're mostly paying, Casey's probably waived his fee. And nobody else in the film.
Well, you got to figure these days,
just with your gaffers. And,
anything under $30 million actually is considered low budget.
Could be.
But I don't know. This is probably not a $30 million movie.
Who made this film? I can't imagine that it would be.
It was a company I can't remember. It wasn't a big one.
I would see this as maybe a $2 or $3 million.
I wouldn't go that low.
Well,
I would say
maybe,
10.
Maybe 15.
10, 15.
Something like that.
Because believe it or not, I was surprised when I read the West Side Story remake that's going on right now, not too far from here with Spielberg. That's not even a $60 million movie. That's like $50-something million.
Kidding.
It's amazing that a big movie like that doesn't need... because they're building sets, they're doing all this stuff.
Oh, okay.
They're building sets right in downtown Patterson.
I know. That's kind of amazing.
But anyway, regardless, I think it's
Who's
a film...
the cast? I don't even know who the cast is in that
It's
film.
mostly a lot of unknowns, because they wanted unknowns.
Well, there's your $60 million budget right there.
A lot of young Hispanic kids.
Oh, good.
But I know that Rita Moreno's in it.
Oh, is she?
She's back.
Oh, cool.
She was in the original, obviously.
Well, obviously. She won an Oscar in 1962 for that film.
She
61, I believe.
But anyway,
there you go.
I would recommend it. I would say, you could check it out. It's going to be on all the platforms. It's on Amazon right now.
It is an apocalyptic
It is a slow
film.
burn.
Casey is he talks slow, he thinks slow, he works slow. I can tell as a director, but it's a very beautifully made little love story between
it's his
him
first
and his daughter.
narrative feature film as a director. Before this, he did a short film, and then right before this, he did a documentary. The one about it was called I Am Still Here, and that's the one when Joaquin Phoenix was saying he's leaving acting. It was all about him with the beard and all that craziness. So that was kind of like a fake documentary.
Did you like this film better than Ghost?
Oh, Ghost Story?
Yeah, Ghost Story.
Yeah.
Well, no, was it Ghost?
It was called A Ghost Story.
Well, the original
Casey
Ghost Story was the film with Fred Astaire.
Yeah, I think this is called A Ghost Story.
Okay.
The one that came out we reviewed it on the show a couple years ago, Casey Affleck.
Yes.
And I believe Rooney Mara.
Yeah,
that was a tough one.
And that was
a depressing movie.
That was a tough
No, I like this better than that.
Well, I know. I was kind of
I know you
kidding
were.
because that film was
That was
just
rough.
so...
Even I remember my sister watched it with me, and she goes, "I can't watch this."
Yeah.
She goes, "This is depressing."
I mean, it wasn't just depressing. It was just nothing happened.
Nothing happened
for a great deal of time.
It was a ghost going through eternity.
Well, it was a ghost just standing in the same house.
Yeah.
As the house crumbled, they
it became
rebuilt.
a skyscraper. All this
yeah,
stuff.
Exactly.
It was weird.
So,
Weird movie.
There was a sense of, but I like that.
And he wore a sheet the whole movie. Like that was him.
Yeah.
Dude was in a sheet.
It was him.
Like what kind of acting was
Why
that?
would you even?
Why bother?
Why even be in the film?
But he did it apparently.
Wow, they could have used a mannequin.
Could have used anybody.
I know.
Gaffer.
Very interesting.
Anyway, we'll move on.
Such as well, we're done.
Yeah, we're just gonna just touch on things that are coming out this week on video.
Okay.
Big one this week coming out today is Rocket Man.
I saw it.
We reviewed it on the show.
I just watched it again this past Friday night. I enjoyed it more on the big on
I
my
had a
home
feeling
screen.
you would, yeah.
Yeah, it just translates better to a more
It's
intimate
fun.
relationship.
This is out now too. We just reviewed this.
Godzilla.
I did watch this when we reviewed this on the show.
Yeah.
You had only seen it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I thought it was very
fun.
good. It had a momentum
Pleasantly
to
surprised.
it. Far better than the previous one.
I want to see this. This looks cool. I don't know anything about it.
I have this film.
Yeah, I
want
to see this. Killers and Animals. Good cast.
I know. This might even be a 2018 film.
And this looks interesting. I heard it's really good.
Okay.
It's one of those art films. The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
It's a
film
or
it's a film.
Oh, okay.
It's not a documentary.
Okay.
And now coming out in theaters this week is kind of a week. The biggest thing coming out is this with Liam Hemsworth called Killer Man.
Yeah.
On the run from a drug dealer.
Bader. Okay.
And then we have Don't Let Go with David Oyelowo. His daughter's kidnapped, so he's trying to get her back.
Oh boy.
You might remember him. He played MLK, Martin Luther King.
Yeah. No, I like him very much.
He's a good actor.
He was also in that movie with...
the comedy.
No, the blonde woman who was... they're set in Africa. He's an African
Yes.
prince.
With Rosamund Pike.
Right.
Yeah, that was called... what was that called? It was like a royalty thing. The name was kind of royal.
I like, and he was marrying her, but the townspeople were not happy that he was marrying
bringing home a white girl.
White woman.
Yeah, that was a true story, too.
That was a true story.
And he was in that comedy we covered with Charlize Theron and Joel Edgerton.
Oh, I didn't care.
Whereas Over the Border, that was just okay.
Oh, I did not like that.
It wasn't that great. All right, before you know it, never heard of it, but it's got a good cast.
Great.
And this is coming out on the... Because we're not going to be here next week. This is coming out on the 6th.
Right. We'll be back
So we'll be back. We're going to see it that week.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy,
Bill Hader.
That's about it.
It looks good.
It does look good.
Yeah.
It does
I'm excited. Looking forward to that.
That's a good shot, though.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
Just broke up this week with his wife. He filed for divorce against Miley Cyrus. Poor Miley. She's very upset.
Oh, well.
She sang her heart out the other night, last night on the VMAs.
Now that wasn't that hosted by
your buddy?
Yeah, Sebastian Maniscalco. How did he do?
Well, the reviews were not kind to Sebastian from Variety today, which I did read. But he was very, he's an edgy comic.
Yeah.
And he was not edgy at all.
He wasn't edgy
He pulled back and he went PG. He didn't even go PG-13.
Yeah, but his comedy is not really vulgar. He might have a swear word here and there, but wasn't anything crazy.
He's a comic, but he's an urban comic. He's an ethical.
He's
Italian.
Italian from Chicago.
A lot of jokes about his dad. He had a few jokes about his dad.
His dad's a hairstylist.
Prosciutto always gets in his. He's got a couple great specials on Netflix right now.
He's my favorite comic right now.
He's like the #1 comic in the country right now.
He's the highest paid. He's huge.
I know.
Like he just did
Madison
MS
Square Garden.
That's big.
I know.
For a comic to sell at MSG, that's big.
First one ever was
Andrew Dice Clay, right?
No, Steve Martin.
Oh, Steve Martin, of course.
Steve Martin sold it out.
That's right. Yeah.
That great moment where he said, he's up on stage. He says, "Okay, all of us. We're going to go over to McDonald's right now." So he does. He jumps off the stage. He runs down the aisle. They go across the street to McDonald's. And he says, "Okay, I want 500,000 cheeseburger. 522,000 cheeseburgers."
Yeah.
And of course the people,
I mean, they went with a live camera?
Yeah, they went with a live camera.
That's cool.
And, there he was, just telling them.
Was that something that was filmed? Can we see that performance?
I believe possibly
Maybe.
so. Yeah, I think it's very possible. But
That's
Steve
cool.
was hilarious.
Oh, of course, it was great. His autobiography is really interesting, and it's apparently like the Bible for comics on the struggle.
It's a stand-up. It's this big.
It is. Yeah,
it's nothing.
No, but I'm saying a lot of comedians worship his book.
No, I have to disagree.
Really, I've heard many of them talk about how great that book was.
Well, it's a good book, but it's more of an autobiography of how he.
It is, but it talks about the gruel of getting good at your material and dealing with bombing.
But that's what every comedian has to do and deal with. I mean, that's just
the way that he. The personal story that he told in that book, for whatever reason, has resonated with a lot of comics.
Well, it's probably resonated mostly because he's Steve Martin. Of
course.
And he's such an iconic and he's such an interesting and naturally funny guy.
Very smart guy, too.
He's a very smart guy, but he's funny in his smartness.
Yes.
And he's smart in his funny. And that's a hard thing to maintain and to do. He's also on tour with Martin Short. They do a wonderful...
Yeah, they've been doing a bunch of these. He teaches
stuff.
one of those master classes you can watch on the internet, how to learn how to do comedy.
Steve Martin does?
Yeah, Master Class is this website where they have all these celebrities teaching their craft. Yeah. Whether you're Scorsese or David Lynch teaching filmmaking.
Right.
They had, the first big one was Kevin Spacey teaching acting. They took that away.
Well, they probably had to because all the guys he was teaching were 16 years old.
Exactly. And
17 years old.
And they had Aaron Sorkin teaching screenwriting.
Interesting.
Steve Martin teaching comedy, and so on and so on. They're all in there live.
It's nice that they give back.
It's cool,
and Charles Palminteri.
Yeah, it's not free though. They have to. Pay.
Sure. But you just did a course with Charles
in May.
Palminteri.
I did a really good 3-day intensive with Charles Palminteri in New York City. It's great.
Very nice.
I just got an email that he's doing another one, but I'm probably not going to go.
What's the point?
Well, just to stay sharp, but it's going to be the same thing again.
Yeah, it's going to be the same.
And it's another,
thing.
whatever.
Yeah, it's $400.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah,
but it was good. I mean, it's worth it. I loved it. Okay. It was really a great experience.
Gotcha.
But anyway, folks, that's
and
our
I
show.
said to you, please take a selfie with him, and
I
finally
did.
you did.
I did, yeah.
You said, I wouldn't dare ask him to do that.
Well, on the last day, it seemed like an okay thing to do.
Yeah, I'm sure that
And he was very
everyone
gracious about it. He's like anybody else. You know,
I'm sure he just wanted,
But anyway, I did look up his restaurant, by the way. It looks really good. If it wasn't in the city, we should go, but it's a drag.
All Italian restaurants are dynamite in the city. In New York City,
Well,
you
I
don't
guess-
survive if you're not
well, I
a good
guess that's
Italian
true.
restaurant.
But he says mine's the best one. Of course he's going to
Well,
say
he
that.
might be right.
It looks
you
good. I
never
was on the
know.
website. It looks good.
Okay.
Anyway, folks, that's our show.
That's
We're
our
off
show.
next
Another
week.
one. We will be
We'll
back
see you
in
in
2 weeks,
2 weeks.
with it, and
a few other good things.
We will also be reviewing, hopefully, The Hustle.
We'll do The Hustle.
We'll do The Hustle. We'll do The Hustle.
Yeah, exactly. How can we not do that?
So, but there you go, and life
And
goes
then
on,
we'll see what else comes out.
We'll see what else comes out, and there are some things on Netflix possibly we can talk about.
Oh, I want to watch that documentary about Patrick Swayze. My dad was raving about it.
I heard about that.
My sister watched it. They said it was
Alyssa
great.
Milano was twittering about
We should
that
watch
the other
that
day.
for next
yeah,
time, maybe.
so.
That sounds good. And I
Yeah,
forgot, it's been 10 years.
I know, it's hard to believe.
I remember when he died. I was waiting tables. I'm like, oh my God, he's
He
dead.
was one of the few guys who lasted the long. I think he lasted for.
With pancreatic, you mean?
Pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, he did.
He
lost a
ripped, but
little
he
bit.
got down, and he was doing a television series
Beast.
at the time.
The Beast on
And,
USA. He was on the floor of the hotel room in the bathroom.
Oh.
In agony. And he was
really?
still shooting that show.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I never watched the show. I don't know if I want to watch it. It's like watching Dead Man Walking.
I know. It's like watching those Freddie
was
Mercury
rail
videos.
thin.
Those Freddie Mercury videos where, when in his final months, it's just horrifying to see how thin and unhealthy that the people do get. But such is life. But so there you go.
Well, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll watch that.
Well, there's other things. I am watching right now the show Lucifer.
I know,
which
my
I'm
wife
almost
likes that
done
show.
with.
She watched it already,
I
too.
love that
Yeah.
show so
Yeah.
much. Great cast, great story. It's literally about the devil.
I know, yeah.
And,
he's helping out the police.
Well, yeah, but he's in the guise of a guy by the name of Tom Ellis plays him. He's a
Yeah.
great little British actor. He's
He's good.
He's terrific.
I've seen enough of the show to see what you're talking
They
about.
really put their heart into it. The people who make the show love it. They had done 3 seasons on, I believe, the CW.
Yeah.
The Warner Brothers.
And then it moved over to...
And then it went to Netflix,
Yeah.
and they did season 4.
One more
And
season.
it became a little bit more gratuitous, a little bit more nudity, and so forth. But I just love this cast so much. I'm so enjoying it. I only have about 4 episodes left in the 4th season, and I'm trying to stretch it out.
I know, yeah.
But now they're saying another season is coming. But
I heard
it's
that,
just
yeah.
a wonderful show. You really ought to
Cool.
check
It looks
out.
cool. I mean...
It's so good. It's so well done. And the way they sprout wings, it's wonderful.
Cool.
All right, folks. We shall see
Next
you in
week,
2
guys.
weeks.
We'll catch
no,
you.
not next week. We
I
will
mean,
catch
next
you
time,
week.
2 weeks from
Next
now.
week is Labor Day. We're taking the week off.
taking the week
and
off.
it's also a slow movie week. There's no reason for us to.
None of those movies were exciting.
Yeah,
I
there's
just
really
told you
nothing here
about.
for us.
Yeah.
So we would like to review, possibly we will see Angels Have Fallen.
We could maybe see
could,
that.
which is the 3rd or 4th film.
Third.
film.
In
and
the Olympus Has Fallen.
White House Has
Yeah,
Fallen.
well, Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen,
Oh.
now Angel Has
The
Fallen.
White House one, that was with
there's
Channing Tatum.
That was called White House Down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was, with Channing
I
Tatum.
like that film.
That was okay.
That was a good little...
It came out the same year as Olympus Has Fallen.
There you go.
It's the whole, Armageddon, Deep Impact,
I know.
Dante's Peak, Volcano Syndrome.
I know, and Aaron Eckhart is not the president in this new film.
No, because his term is over, now it's Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe we'll see it, we'll see.
We shall see.
But, our third goodbye, for real.
Yeah,
See you
maybe
guys.
our 4th goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay.
The long goodbye.
You say hello, we say goodbye.
Yes.
Hello, goodbye.
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 Chloe, where are you?
Road. Yeah, we're going down. Yeah, let's just,